Question 3. What have you learned from your audience feedback? Okay, so as it is with everything that you would create, receiving feedback is a vital part in ensuring that you produce the highest quality work that you can. It's possible that there could be problems with your media product that you might actually not notice. So while you might not notice this, others possibly could, and this is where feedback is always helpful. So if I submitted a piece of work that I've seen through, I might think it's fine. Someone else might watch it through and they might think, actually, something doesn't look right there, or they'll spot something else that I haven't noticed. So that's where feedback comes in really handy. By allowing others to actually evaluate and analyse your work, actually increases your chances of avoiding continuity issues and editing issues and other things that you dread as a filmmaker. While perhaps it actually could be said that maybe I didn't use a big variety of methods to collect my audience feedback, there were still a couple of things that I actually did. These being things like special class-based peer assessments where we each went through each other's work and gave feedback on it, opinions, stuff like this. And I actually found this particularly helpful with my animatic, my practice filming, and my first draft edits of everything, so like my posters, my actual product, and my review. By receiving feedback on everything I did, I was able to constantly incorporate this into my actual work and have it influence me beneficially. So, in the aim of creating something as best as it can be, this was of the utmost importance. Another method of receiving feedback was actually through focus groups. This was a particularly strong and effective method, I felt, of gaining feedback due to how engaging I could be, as well as how involved it allowed me to be. So, basically, it gave me the opportunity to get a group of people to discuss the things that I questioned them on, and then they would just give me answers and sort of speak with one another about it, and generally this helped to get a better idea of what they meant. People were actually able to use each other as well to kind of spark off ideas and thoughts, and this is something that you might not get when you give out like a questionnaire or something like that. I felt the most appropriate thing to actually use a focus group for would be when I was getting views on like my proposal for what I was going to do for a film. This was because at an early stage of creating my product, I was still not too late to actually change ideas, so if something came up that people felt was wrong, it wasn't too late and I could easily change these ideas. So the type of questions I actually asked in my focus group were things like, would it be better to use dialogue or just thoughts, or how heavily music should feature, the type of music that should feature, the amount of wishes and consequences, stuff like this. And by asking these questions I was actually able to come to a decision on each of these things, but also gain further understanding of what the audience would want and what would work. So when I asked them about the wishes, I was given a number of wishes that I felt was appropriate, and then they discussed this further, like the sort of wishes that they felt should be used. And this would more than likely not have happened if I had actually just done a questionnaire, as people would just have quickly written something down, like a number, and moved straight on. So a focus group was definitely appropriate in this instance. A lot of the feedback I actually received was from peers in my class, so I would make a change or try something, and then I would go and ask someone, get them to give me an opinion on it. And this method was particularly used when I created my ancillary work. You can see here the feedback that has modified my work. So this was the first film poster that I originally was going to submit. I asked for feedback on this. My peers commented on the effectiveness of the smoke in the title. They said that they actually quite liked that, although they felt that the phone design looked too unprofessional and tacky with the attempted teapot thing. So I removed it, I started again, and overall I feel it came out better. They also mentioned that the font used for the descriptions of a film, such as the actor and director, were too simple, as was the positioning of it, and this actually made it look quite basic overall. So after asking all these questions, I took all the feedback on board, and my end result was actually this. You can see obviously, it's really clear, but I made the recommended changes and I took on board what they said, and overall I think it actually came out a lot better as a result. I also used this feedback for the creation of my review. So you can see the first draft here, which actually received a number of comments that persuaded me to actually completely redo the whole thing. Things like the whole layout was actually kind of abnormal to a normal review, and it didn't seem professional enough. So they said that I should actually try and base it on a real review with a more accepted style. My writing was also analysed, and it was felt that I was not accurately describing my film, so from this feedback I actually completely restarted it. I based mine, in the end, on Empire's Lawless review, which you can see here. I then, after deciding the layout, actually gave an account, like a review on my film that I felt was entirely honest, unbiased, and overall really represented my film properly. The audience feedback played a vital role in fine-tuning and perfecting my work as best as possible.